I appreciate this opportunity to talk with you, Colonel. What year did you graduate from West Point?
Well, I graduated in 1939. Same class as Phil Davidson.
Tell me a little about your Army career before going to the 3rd Cavalry.
Well, after graduation, I went down through the Panama Canal up to San Francisco and joined the 11th Horse Cavalry in Monterey, Pennsylvania. And served 2 years there. Had a lot of fun, played a lot of polo, and met a lot of movie actresses, actors.
Who in particular? Who in particular did you meet there?
Well, they're so old you wouldn't know them.
Francis X. Bushman? That play.
More like Lillian Gish.
Yeah, well, that's not bad.
Long time ago, though.
She's still around, I think.
I haven't seen her.
As commander of the 3rd Squadron in Europe, you had many experiences. Is there any one that stands out in your mind in particular?
Well, Bob, the way I think of it, that experience from joining the 3rd to leaving the 3rd from 43 to 46 was the big experience in my life. And I'll never forget it.
I think it was for most of us.
I'm sure it was. I can't think of any one particular day that I could recount right now. It was all so great.
Yes. Well, after VE Day, many of us soon became civilians. What was in the future for Marshal Wallach?
Well, I stayed in the service, put in 30 years, and Elizabeth and I really traveled all around the world. Started off going up into the Aleutians for a year with the Task Force Williwaw, which was a test outfit, testing equipment. Spent a year there, came back, went to Fort Knox, commanded the 70th Tank Battalion. Went to Europe with the U.S. Constabulary, commanded a battalion and then the 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment. And we came back and I went to the Commanding General Staff College for a year. Went to West Point for 3 years with the Department of Tactics, which was a great tour. After that, I went to the year's course at the Army War College. From there to Korea. From Korea, I went to Okinawa and commanded the 1st Special Forces Group for 3 years, which was a fun assignment because I had Special Forces teams all around the Bamboo Curtain. I used to travel and visit them all the time.
Sounds interesting.
Went down to Taiwan. I had a team down there that was training the Taiwanese parachutists and also how to pack their parachutes. And when they graduated the course, I went down there and jumped with them. I think they had about 3,000 men jump, and all the parachutes worked. And General, what's his name? Kai-shek or
Chiang
Chiang
Kai-shek.
Kai-shek pulled me up on the platform and decorated me because all the parachutes. So
Is that right? Do you have a picture of that?
I do have a picture of that. He gave me his book that he just written, a nice cravat medal, Order of the Cloud and Banner. After that, we came back, went back to the War College on the faculty for 3 years, then down to Panama, where I commanded the 193rd Brigade. And from there up to the Pentagon, where I served in McNamara's office in the Secretary of Defense. After that, I went to the command, the president of the Armor Engineer Board at Fort Knox, and retired from there in 1969. That was my 30 years.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a very interesting 30 years.
I enjoyed it every day.
I'm sure you did. Well, we've heard all about Marshal Wallach the soldier. What about Marshal Wallach's family?
Well, I have, first of all, I married my next door neighbor. She was across the fence neighbor. Her house was about a mile and a half from my house in Warrenton, Virginia. Elizabeth and I got married in 41. Then we were married and she came to Gordon with me. Before the war, we had one child, our eldest, Marshall F. After the war, we produced Richard, and later on up at West Point, we had Elizabeth, so we had 3 children, all doing well. Marshall is out in Denver, where he's formed his own company. He's a Harvard graduate, a Dartmouth graduate, and he's an investment banker, doing extremely well. Not only that, he has a national ranking as a squash player.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's number 4 in the country right now. I always tell him in his age group, of course.
Yeah.
But our second son, Richard, went to BMI, graduated, and both boys served in Vietnam, a tour in Vietnam. Elizabeth is living near Warrenton now. She did live in Florida for a long time, but she's now back living very close to us in Warrenton. We see her every day and see Richard usually once a week. So they're all doing fine, and we're very proud of them.
I'm sure you are. Well, thank you very much, Colonel. It's been very interesting, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Bob, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.